Remember those awesome muscle cars in 1969? We're going to check out the top 10 beasts of the road from that time and see what they're worth today. Each car in this video will be more valuable than the last, so if you watch till the end, prepare to have your mind blown. But first, if you love nostalgia, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so we can continue to bring you amazing content. It really does help the channel. The 1969 Plymouth GTX. The Plymouth was like the steady, reliable friend in a group. Not the flashiest, but always there when you needed it. With a quarter-mile time of 13.56 seconds, it was more than respectable. In '69, it would set you back $3,700, which was a fair price for a solid ride. Now this GTX is valued at around $90,000. It's like finding an old band t-shirt in your closet and realizing it's vintage now. The GTX is a nod to a time when cars were straightforward, built for people who wanted both performance and style without all the fuss. It's a piece of automotive history that reminds us of the simple joys of driving. The 1969 and a half Dodge Superbe. This wasn't your average car. It was like the gritty, hard-working character actor of the car world, knocking out a quarter mile in 13.56 seconds. It was reliable, sturdy, and had a no-nonsense vibe. Back in '69, it was a bargain at $3,800, kind of like snagging a deal at a vintage store. Today, this Superbe has buzzed its way up to an impressive $110,000. It's like those old TV shows that weren't a hit when they first aired, but gained a cult following over the years. The Superbe is a reminder of the days when cars were built tough, ready for anything, and had a character all their own. The 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner A12 Drag Pack. Back in '69, this thing was a beast on the streets, blasting through a quarter mile like it was nothing, in just under 13 seconds. It was like the high school jock of cars, all muscle and show, and you could get your hands on one for about $3,800. Fast forward to today, and this old jock's still got it. But now it's more about the nostalgia than the speed. It's like finding that old rock album in your attic and realizing it's worth a fortune. Today, this Roadrunner's valued at a whopping $150,000. It's crazy how time changes value, right? It's like those '70s rock stars who faded out of the limelight, but still have die-hard fans paying big bucks for their memorabilia. The 1969 Ford Mustang Mach 1. The Ford Mustang Mach 1 was like the jack-of-all-trades in the muscle car kingdom. Clocking a quarter mile in 13.69 seconds, it was a blend of speed, style, and substance. Priced at $4,300 in 1969, it was akin to investing in a high-quality piece of tech, something you knew was worth every cent. Today, the Mach 1 is a sought-after gem with a value of about $170,000. It's like those classic vinyls that everyone wants in their collection. The Mach 1 represents a time when cars were more than just machines. They were a part of your identity, a statement of who you were. It's a timeless classic, reminding us of the days when horsepower and sleek design ruled the road. The 1969 Plymouth Hemi Roadrunner. From the very beginning, the 1969 Plymouth Hemi Roadrunner was the epitome of cool. Not just any old car, but the cool kid on the block. Picture this beast tearing down the street, quarter mile in 13.32 seconds. It was the kind of car that didn't just move, it made a statement. It was the kind of car that turned heads, made you feel like a rock star even if you were just going to grab some milk. Back in '69, you could pick this up for about $4,500, which was a bit of a splurge, but totally worth it. Now fast forward to today, and it's like finding a rare comic book in your basement. This thing's worth around $170,000. It's like those '70s TV stars who vanished from the scene, but are still legends. The Hemi Roadrunner is a piece of history, a reminder of the days when cars were more than just transport, they were statements. The 1969 Camaro SS L89. Before the world knew what a muscle car could be, there was the 1969 Camaro SS L89. This wasn't just a car, it was a statement. More than just a mode of transportation, it represented a distinct era. Sure, its quarter-mile time of 13 seconds wasn't record-breaking, but it had style. In 1969, only 311 Camaros were made with the L89 option. Originally, this Camaro cost about the same as a decent second-hand car today, just $3,800. But now, it's like it hit the jackpot. valued at around $220,000. It's as if it aged like that indie movie from the 70s that nobody got back then, but now everyone claims it's a masterpiece. The Camaro's like a reminder of simpler times, a piece of history that's only gotten cooler with age, kind of like those old vinyl records that are suddenly worth a fortune. The 1969 Dodge Charger 500. This one was like the unsung hero of the muscle car world, cruising through a quarter mile in 13.48 seconds. It had the looks, the power, and the presence of a 70s action hero. Back in the day, it would set you back about $4,300, kind of like splurging on a high-end TV now. But today, this Charger's value has skyrocketed to around $220,000. It's like those old action movies that weren't huge at the box office but became cult classics over time. The Charger 500 reminds us of a time when cars weren't just about getting from A to B. They were about adventure, about making a statement. It's a relic of an era that cherished power and style, a tangible piece of nostalgia that just keeps getting better with age. The 1969 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray L88, a car that wasn't just a ride, it was a statement. With a quarter-mile time of 13.5 seconds, it was like the cool uncle of muscle cars, fast, flashy, and a bit mysterious. In '69, you'd have to fork out about $5,700, a pretty penny back then, kind of like dropping big bucks on the latest tech gadget today. But now, this Stingray is a treasure, valued at a cool $425,000. It's like those classic rock albums that everyone forgot about until they suddenly became collector's items. The L88 is a symbol of an era when cars were as much about performance as they were about personality. A rolling piece of art that just oozes cool. The 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429. For those who are into classic muscle cars, there's one that's a real standout from 1969. And it's not just any car, it's the Ford Mustang Boss 429. This beauty was what dreams were made of back in the day, nailing the quarter mile in about 13.3 seconds. We're not just talking about speed here. This car had a vibe that was like a rock star hitting the stage, all charisma and cool. Think of it like when you see something so awesome, it just sticks in your mind. Back in '69, getting your hands on one of these would have set you back about $5,000, which was a serious chunk of change, kind of like if you were to buy the fanciest guitar in the shop. But now, if you can believe it, this car's value has gone through the roof. We're talking a whopping $450,000. It's like those old records that used to just be tunes to jam to, but now they're super valuable collectibles. The 1969 Camaro Copo ZL1. Once a hidden gem among muscle cars, the 1969 Camaro Copo ZL1 stood apart. This one was a bit more special, a bit more exclusive. With a unique charm that set it apart from the rest, it had a 13.16-second quarter-mile time, and it wasn't the fastest on the block, but it had something special. It was like that underground band from the 70s that only the cool kids knew about. Back then, it was a bit pricier at $7,300, which was quite a bit for a car. But now, it's like it won the lottery, valued at a mind-blowing $800,000. It's like those cult classic films that no one cared about when they came out, but decades later, everyone's raving about them. The ZL1 is a symbol of how sometimes the things we overlook or forget are the ones that end up being the most valuable. It's all about the nostalgia, the memories of a time when life was a bit more raw, a bit more real. And that's our throwback